I want to munch! Squad!
We are streaming, by the way. They heard your drum intro.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Good deal.
damn.
You said
Did they
start
saw
it.
me doing my brother and me reference? Shit.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of NASA 5E and our Arcanoclism campaign. I am Corey, your DM. Last time we played, the party continued their quest back to Neverwinter with Brew and a strange metal man in tow. After encountering a hexapodal insectoid type monstrosity, you guys were able to come out on top in that fight, and as well as a subsequent fight the next evening when you were surprised by a bunch of roctopi. Making it back to Neverwinter, you guys headed straight for the college, with the exception of Rashad, who went and dropped off the least donkeys. So I did look that up. You guys do get 3 gold pieces each back, except
Not
for
me.
Rashad, because you bought your donkey.
First off, who saved who? Okay.
I didn't say saved. You bought.
No. Who saved who? Charlie or me?
So the party continued to the Mages College. Upon arriving from the ferry, Varen actually comes out to meet you guys. He seemed kind of in a rush to get Brew into the college and hidden away, so that the cultists couldn't find it. And he said, and you guys had some questions for him, but he said, please, we need to get this inside. Come back in 2 or 3 days, and I will answer all of your questions. With that being said, the party returned to their breeze home. The party had some downtime, so over the course of 2 10 days, business that was attended to was Stock continuing to train Nevis, and Vershad went around and found a turtle to wild shape into so that he could go out and try to find information about a reef shark, which took him a while, but he was able to figure out.
They're really hard to find.
And then he finished out his 10-day business last session with a trip to an altar to the Scale Bearer to attempt to atone for deeds that he
being a bad doggo.
What?
Being a bad doggo.
Okay. Deeds that he deigned to be misdeeds in the eyes of the Scale Bearer. After essentially trying to atone for these things and saying, like, if you want to take my powers, go ahead. With a slight bit of hesitation, there was no interruption in his powers. Nevis was able to sort of refine the metal in the blade of Stock's glaive so that it is sort of padded against those damaging blows on natural ones for three times before it'll break. And then in the meantime, each one of those natural ones will impart a -1 to attack bonus until it does break. Also, during that time, because of sort of the way that the lessons were going between Stock and Nevis, Stock decided to start watching Nevis in his forge in an attempt to try to learn a bit more about, you said leatherworking, was it, Stock?
Si, senor.
Yeah. There was a bit of goofiness between Vershad and Borax, as Vershad taught Borax how to turn into a reef shark. And then the two of them made attempts to turn into the what are you guys calling those dog-like creatures?
These were just in my monster manual, patent pending. These were known as wolf aberrations.
Wolf aberrations. Anyone else have an idea?
Cujos.
So far we've got Langoliers and Roctopi.
Cujos.
Cujos.
What is happening? Sorry, my computer's being weird.
That's what we're calling them. What is happening?
What is happening? They attempted to turn into a pair of what is happenings, only to find out that they were outside of the abilities of a druid to wild shape into.
What do we call them? Lupins.
Lupins?
I already wrote down Cujos. We got it in one, guys.
Yeah, Cujos is fine. Cujos, Langoliers, and Roctopi.
We just have to name the burrowing spiders. I would like to. I think we should just call them ranchos after tarantulas.
Ranchos?
Burrowing spiders.
Yeah.
What's a burrowing animal?
Well, there's most specifically to it would be a wolf spider.
That's not fun. Why
Yeah.
would it, like wolves don't burrow?
Yeah. And then you also like tarantulas, hence ranchos,
Trapdoor spiders do burrow.
or diglets.
Trapdoor spiders do burrow. Trappies?
What about oh shits?
Admiral Akbars.
You call them clickers.
We're calling them Akbars.
Akbars? All right.
Got it in 4, guys.
Got it. So also too, you guys made a trip to Aldean's. I remember Stock bought some potions of healing. Zanalor, you will see a second shop or a shop inventory that's been refreshed in your journal. If you want to take a look at that, and if there's anything that you do want to purchase, we can handle that
Cool.
kind of whenever.
I think I'd also like to purchase a couple of healing potions myself, even though I am a healer. They are very versatile.
Yeah. Who heals the healer?
So if I remember correctly,
I bought 2.
there were 2 available, and Stock bought both of them.
No, there were
Okay.
4 available. I bought 2.
There were 4 available?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right then. How many would you like to purchase, Nevis?
I'll purchase the remaining 2 then.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
Sure thing.
How much
Zanalor,
was that?
there is 5 gold pieces still remaining to pay off the leather armor that you commissioned to be fancied up a bit.
Okay.
Um,
I'll pay that off.
okay, yeah, because that is ready for pickup. You guys were gone plenty of time.
Cool.
So yeah, that's 5 gold for that, and then you're able to pick that up. And I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. You guys did hit level 4.
Ooh,
I thought you were there when I said that, Zanor. I'm not sure.
I was not.
Okay. But anyway, so as far as like things left to do before kind of like giving you guys back unstructured free time, you guys did say that you wanted to, or you guys did want to meet up with Varen to kind of debrief and talk about a few things a couple days after you arrived back in town. Is there anything you guys want to do before we go do that? Or Zanalor, would you like to go through your downtime activities first?
Doesn't matter to me. What order?
I want to see Sandler commit arson.
So speaking of which, actually, thank you, Rashad, for reminding me. As you guys came
Why'd you
into
do this?
town,
I was
as you
about to
guys
get
came
away.
into town, actually, you see some very worn, because it's been close to a month since that happened. You guys see a very worn on various like postings and things like that. Sort of posters asking for information on the incident at Arrowhead Manor, or was it Arrowway or Arrowhead? Arrowway Manor. But those posters are quite worn, and it seems like, and you don't really hear people talking about it anymore as you go through the city or anything like that. It appears as though, for all intents and purposes, you guys were gone long enough for the investigation to start and finish.
I just got a smirk the first time I see one of the posters.
I would have probably snagged one of those and put it in my notes.
Okay.
Thinking that was somebody looking for me and just way off the trail.
So that's number 4 on your list of things, Zanalor. Number 2 was sewing a sort of pocket thing.
Yeah.
What are you talking about here?
On my cloak, so I want to have basically a pocket with a flap that goes over it most of the time.
Okay.
And then I could easily tuck the flap into the pocket. And then so the pocket itself has the patch.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is like, is the patch on the flap? So you like flip it over like a police badge?
The patch is on the pocket.
Okay.
So that I tuck in the thing that covers it most of the time.
Okay.
So most of the time there's a flap that covers it.
Sure.
And then when I want to, I can just stuff it into the pocket. And now I have a patch that makes me look like I'm part of the other people.
Okay. I think that with a pair of 10 days to work on that, I think through some trial and error, you're able to accomplish that. Why don't you go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me to see just how long it does take you.
It is a 15 plus 4, 19.
Not bad. It winds up taking you the better part of a day and a half, and you get it finished.
Nice.
How many cloaks did you go through before you're happy with the design?
I tested it out on all of your guys' first.
This tracks.
Okay, and then there was one other thing that was very unique to you, Xanalor, that you wanted to do. So I think that given the sort of layout of Neverwinter, you can probably find near the Neverdeath graveyard. I would assume that there is some sort of kind of like an infirmary sort of deal where people are taken when they're sort of on their last legs to see if any sort of clerical work can be done to save them, or that at the very least they can be read their last rites before transitioning into the arms of the Raven Queen. So why don't you talk a little bit about what it is that you hope to accomplish here?
So I want to observe the process of death to try to understand it better. And what I'd like to use, because Spare the Dying is the only ability that I have, but I want to try to kind of test the limits of that.
Okay.
And so if I can find somebody sort of near death and try to spare the dying and see if that does anything, and then kind of find somebody who's like dead and try it on them.
Okay.
See if anything happens, basically.
Yeah. How long are you dedicating to this study?
Probably a few hours a day over the course of the week, probably.
Okay.
Or 10-day.
Yeah. So over the course of that first 10-day of downtime, go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
That's the same roll. 15.
15. Okay. So your first few attempts, you're having a hard time sort of figuring out whether or not what you're doing is making a difference, right? But then you start paying more attention. You kind of step back a little bit and start paying closer attention to like how the clerics are doing things and making more detailed notes about the various phases of death and dying. And you also wind up perusing a book written by a Cassius Hole that is kind of talking about sort of coming to terms with the process of death and things like that. It seems to be something that the clerics try to make themselves aware of in order to help people be more comfortable with this transition and feel less stigmatism about death itself. But so during the first day or so, you're just kind of watching and studying. You try casting Spare the Dying on someone who had died the night before. You get there in the morning, someone had passed away over the night, so you cast Spare the Dying. Nothing happens. You find someone who actually, like before you wind up leaving for the day, someone passes away, and you cast Spare the Dying on them, but and so they stop dying, but only for a few moments as they're condition is, beyond help. They just, once they're stopped dying, they slowly begin resuming dying. And you find that that's generally true for each phase of these people, these heavily infirmed individuals. So you find that you have the ability to help people so long as they have the strength to kind of accept that help, which is, it's not what you're looking for.
Right.
So like during the time, like, what sort of things are you you don't actually have to say this out loud, but are you like sort of like journaling these kinds of things and seeing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And probably as this progresses where I'm not really having the result that I want, I'm probably getting more like frustrated in my notes.
Okay. I'm going to send you a whisper of something that you get. Basically, like once you've reached the point of you think you've learned all you can learn and you've taken all the frustration that you can take, I'm going to send you a whisper of sort of something that you see that evening show up in your journal. Is there anything that you guys want to take care of between you guys, as far as like anything you want to talk about over the course of the downtime, anything like that, anything you would like to do? Even?
Yeah, the night before we set off, I would just like to spend a little bit of time at Nevis's forge.
Okay.
And I'm assuming we'll know, like, if we're getting sent on another mission, we'll know the night before, so I can save it till then.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I can't get the inventory list pulled up. Apparently, once I click on it to cancel it, it doesn't reboot. The potions that we bought.
Yeah.
Which ones were they?
Regular potions.
They're not superior. They're not greater.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's only giving me.
But well, we figured
It's not giving me.
Go ahead, Dan.
It's not giving me the option to add anything less than a potion of greater healing.
Let me take a look here.
It's a little weird. Do you have the potions option selected under manage equipment? Don't select that.
All right.
And then just in the filter, type in healing, and it should come up.
Greater, superior, and supreme. Oh wait, there it is. Never mind. It's the one that's not highlighted. Okay.
Yeah, it's stupid. I tried doing that same thing last week. I'm like, where's the regular potion? And I unclicked potions, and it shows up.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. But Vershad gets to spend a lot of time at Nevis's forge dodging scraps of leather and tools. Stock and leatherworking are not getting along at the moment.
In my notes, I have something about checking out the Cashian thing that we experienced on the road a couple times. Campfire situation, if I'm not correct, if I'm not remembering correctly. Some people were chasing things, and all of a sudden the word Cashian came up, and I thought that was something that was noteworthy, and I wonder if that's something that we should look into while we're here in Neverwinter.
Are you?
I guess I'm throwing that out to the party to see what they think of it, or if they have any knowledge that I am not privy to right now.
Sure. Yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask, is if that was posed to the party or towards me.
Mostly to the party.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
Like
I haven't heard much about that. I think I have about the same information you do, but if it's something you want to investigate, I'll do what I can to help.
I just thought maybe, if we spend the night at an ale house or something, that maybe we could broach that as a topic of conversation and see what comes of it. If nothing, then nothing. That's fine.
Well, we could go to the Emerald Scholar.
Does the name remind me? Have I seen this from the book? That sounds sort of like Cassian.
It does kind of ring a bell, but you're like between somebody who's writing a book on sort of the process of being dead, and like removing the stigma around death, to people who are hunting tiny like weird monster things in the dead of night. You're really not sure what that connection is. It's actually so detached that you're wondering if there really is a connection or if it just sounds the same.
Things that sound like the same thing, right?
maybe it's a matter of spelling.
Actually, I'm kind of wondering if there is some strange connection. Is the Cassian a study of Cassius? We run into we experienced people who have worshippers who have experienced the different characters from other battles, lore, so to speak. So is a Cassian someone who is a follower of Cassius?
Who might be able to help us is the followers who kept on saying "smote" all the time. The name's escaping me right now. I think its name was Hedwig.
Hedwig.
But I would imagine that if they're going based off of the old adventuring Tiamat, which are all acutely aware of history, didn't those two guys used to run together?
Which is exactly why I'm wondering if there's some sort of connection that way.
Why don't you go ahead and make a intelligence check for me, Nevis?
That's not a good one for me. Yeah, that's only a 9.
Okay. So essentially, two sort of courses of action have been provided. You could go to the Emerald Scholar and do research. You could go to a tavern such as the Winged Wyvern, one you're familiar with, and sort of ask around there. Neither one of those seem better than the other. They both seem about even.
Okay. Well, if there would be time during this 210 day,
there's plenty of time.
Aside from my training with and training of stock and having Vendi looking over my shoulder, just maybe I'd like to attempt the Wicked Wyvern first.
Okay. Is anyone wanting to accompany Nevis to the Winged Wyvern?
Sure.
Woo!
What was he trying to do?
Nevis wants to go to the Winged Wyvern and ask around if anybody knows anything about this Cassian order.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to bring the book with me.
Oh, you're taking the book from the Never Death Graveyard? Okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me to see if any of the clerics notice you taking the book.
That's a 1.
A 1.
So
4. as you grab the book and you start to walk out, one of the clerics sort of like places their hand you feel like it's authoritatively and like it does cause you to hesitate, though the grip itself is incredibly gentle. One of the clerics puts their hand on your arm. They look you in the eye. They don't even look at the book. They just put their hand on your arm and say, hopefully within those pages you find the guidance you seek. And they just let go and go back to tending to the infirmed. Okay, so
my Cassius Soul.
The title is After the Before Life by Dr. Cassius Hole.
Titles are never his thing.
So you guys go to the Winged Wyvern. I will go ahead and pull that back up. So it's been a little bit since we went there. So I'll pull up that description again so that you guys remember what it looks like. Okay, so as you enter the Winged Wyvern, the sounds of hearty laughter and joviality fill the large mead hall clear above the smoke-stained wooden rafters. Smells of spilled mead, meaty stews, and smoked meats permeate the air. Several contests of strength occur at tables in sort of the western portion of the hall, while a large crowd is gathered in a typical area where particularly braggadocious adventurers decide they want to share their tales of adventuring. Currently is the actually same pair from before, a burly-looking human and a rather displeased-looking half-orc telling tales of their adventures. Behind the bar in the north of the hall is a grizzled elven or half-elven male tending the taps. You guys remember his name to be Patroclus Flusham. And to the side of the bar is the wall splashed with various notices and requisitions postings.
I'd like to go to Pat and just says like, "Hey, you thought about any of that idea I had?" Oh, I'm sorry. You might have recognized me by my earlier voice. Hey, buddy, did you recognize that idea I had earlier?
Oh yeah, you're the guy with the problem with the heads, right?
Yes, I am.
You planning on buying anything this time?
You know, you never gave me a list of your wares.
Got mead, got ale, and some wine.
Do you have any non-alcoholic wine? That'd be another useful venture.
He kind of like leans back and looks under the bar, pulls out it's just grape juice. He pours out. It's just a little purple drink in a cup. It's just grape juice. He says, we keep it back here for the occasional kid that comes in, and don't worry about it.
Oh, shit. This party's going to be off the hook.
But still, I'm not making a coat room for the heads. This is a place for men, son. Okay.
As I sip my fruit juice.
Stock, anything you want to do in here?
Not at the moment. I'm just keeping an eye on everybody and seeing if there's anybody else that needs punched in the face.
There are definitely people who look like they could use a punch in the face. They haven't like done anything to you yet to be like, yes, I need to give this person a punch in the face, but there's definitely some punchable faces around here.
Okay, I'll just wait.
All right. Xanalor, how about you?
I'm just kind of observing, and then I want to see if there's like an about the author in the book.
Okay. As you open the book,
yeah, tell everyone all about me.
As you open the book, it appears as though there is not an about the author.
Okay.
That not being invented yet, or
partially that, partially, if I remember correctly, I don't think Cassius was the most egotistical of people.
And also, it was a paperback.
All right, Nevis. This is sort of your ship. Who do you want to talk to first? Or at all?
Well, I guess I follow Vendy up to the bar and talk to Patty. And
oh my God, we're in Patty's pub. I don't know what this is.
obviously, with me being a sort of a merchant vendor in the area, I have a rapport with him. I get up to the bar, I shake his hand, ask him for a pint, and ask him how everything's going, that kind of thing, small talk, and then I'm just going to break right into, hey, what do you know about this Cassian thing? Have you ever heard of anything? We've come across this, and I'm kind of curious.
Okay. Well, first things first. Go ahead and subtract a copper for the pint. You guys sort of exchange pleasantries. Patroclus, tells you, ever since that weirdness over at the Statue of Bahamut, things have been pretty calm around here. I remember last time you were in, you asked a little bit about those rumors that people keep talking about with the weird creatures and terrors in the air and stuff like that. And I haven't heard anything really better about it. Just the same kind of rumors, especially from those two idiots over there. But the Cassian thing, yeah, you're not talking about those guys what run around chasing little midgets in the night, are you?
Well, they definitely do run around in the night. I can tell you that for sure.
No, that's exactly what we're looking for. Tell us about that.
I have heard a few people come in talking about these guys who seem to be doing some moonlight hunting. They don't really stay long. They're not much for words, typically just asking for directions. And then the Cassian, I don't remember people. I couldn't remember that before you said it, but it kind of jogged my memory a little bit. I'm not sure where that comes from, though. Tell you what, though, if you're really looking for information, that wackadoo joint up the road, that Emerald Enclave, where all those the nerdy.
Oh, the Emerald Enclave.
They might charge you a little bit for the time spent, but they do have a lot of information there. If that was what you're looking for, you may be able to find something. Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that earlier? Those were in the books. Oh man, my favorite one, the fall and further fall of Tiamat.
All right. Well, I appreciate the information, my friend, and hope the rest of your night is pleasant. And I'm actually going to take my drink and I'm going to wander over to the two asshats telling stories. I want to kind of listen in on what might be going on in there. Obviously, you don't have to give me stories from them, but I'm just going to wander over and kind of blend into the background and see if I hear anything interesting from those guys. Just to kind of spend the rest of my time there. That's all.
Yeah. Go ahead. Make an insight check for me.
Well, I got even better at these. That is a 25.
25. Yeah.
You sit there into this guy's soul.
You get about 3 sips in, kind of listening, half listening while you're sort of, mulling things over and watching the rest of the people and all that. And these guys could not be more full of fucking shit if they tried. You don't know what is wrong with the people who are actually gathered around listening to these shit sippers actually spin these webs of lies, but you've never heard of an 18-foot tall goblin before, but these guys are over here saying that they slayed one. Yes, for sure.
So,
are they both Sleepy J?
No.
As subtly as I can, I want to try and ascertain the eye color of both of these guys to see if they are indeed brown.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh God! I forget what my perception is. So that's a 5. So it's a 13.
13. Kind of hard to tell on the half orc. His rather prominent brow casts quite the shadow over his eyes, but the human man, he's got brown eyes.
As long as I don't even have to lift up any sunglasses to see, then
Stock, go ahead, make a perception check for me. I sent you a whisper a little bit ago. I don't know if you saw that though.
Nope.
That's okay.
That is a number. That is something. 14.
14. Okay. So while you're looking around the bar, you actually notice what seems to be more of a the paper is cleaner, so it must be a fresher posting over at the requisition board.
Okay.
As you kind of look it over a little bit, you kind of make your way over there, still watching the bar. You look it over. It appears to be sort of like a it's sort of like an informational poster, essentially, talking about how several children from Neverwinter have gone missing in the last few months. And as far as anyone knows, they have not been recovered.
it's the Krampus.
It's that time of year again. Okay, I will grab the poster and bring it over to the group and go, what do you guys make of this?
Well, I can make a hat or a pterodactyl or...
Roll for origami.
You can make a pterodactyl.
You can't?
No.
This looks like a poster for Pennywise the Dancing Clown. I don't know. Am I wrong?
As I take a look at it, it's like, this looks like a job.
This looks like money to me.
Mm-hmm.
Either
I
that
wasn't too worried about that part. No. Who posted this?
To the barkeep.
As you kind of look, most you've seen most notices are like signed or notarized in some way by whatever guild or whoever has posted it. This one is just stamped basically as approved for posting by the Chamber of Commerce, essentially.
I hope you guys know that we're going to accept this job.
Done and done. To the Chamber of Commerce after the Emerald Enclave.
Like I know I should force like a group vote on this, but I'm voting for you. We're going to do this.
I don't care if it's 9 p.m. We'll break in and see what they have.
So I want to accept Xanalor's challenge and try to make a pterodactyl out of the posting.
Okay.
Just use a different one.
Roll for origami. That's going to be a sleight of hand check.
Okay. I don't know what my number is on that one. Sleight of hand. That is a 15.
A 15. Well, you don't tear the paper. I don't know if you've ever actually seen a pterodactyl before. What you wind up making looks a lot like a paper airplane.
Am I amazed?
A little bit. So as you see this Xanalor, you think you look at it, you go like, there's actually something here. Mechanically speaking, there is something here. This is not a pterodactyl, but there is something here.
The next round's on me.
You see, the interesting part about these pterodactyl wings, it's the difference between pressure below and above their wing that keeps them afloat. In fact, pterodactyls don't want to go to the ground.
Do you know how to make...
Now I want to attempt to make a rack out of it. Not the country, the bird.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and make another sleight of hand check.
Oh, okay. I was only kidding, but that's all right. Oh, that is a crit fail. Apparently, I not only tear the paper, but I rend it into confetti.
So as you start trying to like fold the paper, your big meaty paws, it like flies out of your hand and hits Xanalor in his good eye.
How do you paper cut your eyeball?
Sorry about that, Xanalor. Next round's on me then.
Hey, don't worry. I saw what was on the eye patch over.
I'm gonna turn around and switch the eye patch and hope nobody noticed.
I totally notice. Tell me what I need to roll because I'm gonna.
Before he moves it and we see his other eye, I want to go, I hope that doesn't get infected.
If we're rolling for perception, I got a 15, 10 plus 5.
15. Okay. What were you trying to perceive again?
If I remember from earlier fucking with his eye patch that he has 2 good eyes.
Oh yeah, totally.
I only got a 7.
You weren't sure if it was a shadow or not, but like there may not be an eye under there.
I'm just going to wait and see if I need to cast Cure Wounds on him.
It doesn't appear to be that bad, no. Nothing a little AOL can't fix.
I do apologize, Xanilor, sorry.
Not your fault.
Does the paper also set on fire as soon as it hits the table?
Not your fault. Whose fault would it be? Also too, there's another requisition. It's a little bit older. Might have been posted after you guys were in here the first time, but less recently than the one with the missing children. It says reward: abandoned dragon's lair in the Mere of Dead Men. Assistance for retrieving the treasure will be 13% share to the returning party.
A piece, or as I'm just speaking to the paper.
The paper is unexpectedly silent.
Tell me your secrets.
Is it signed by anyone in particular?
This one is signed. Man, that's a great question.
Got him.
So, wait. Yeah, no.
Albus Salazar.
This one is signed by the. There's a name. I don't have one right now. I also don't have names for the children who are disappeared. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I wasn't ready for you to be so stoked about the side quests. I will get you that information, I promise.
And we have a third one on the plate also for finding that enchanter we learned about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you guys did mention that to Varen on the steps of the college too.
We are finding that fucker because I don't like being scryed on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Corey. I didn't realize you expected us to be cool with child abduction.
You know what? No, like I figured you guys like write it down. I didn't think you guys would be like, this is the new quest. Let's go. Fuck the cult.
It's the cult doing it all along.
I have a pretty good idea of that one. I just don't have it written up.
Well, all right. We're gonna sleep on this one night, and then we're gonna save the kids.
All right. So is there anything else that you guys want to do at the Winged Wyvern before calling it a night?
Well, we're not calling it a night. We're going to the other place.
Just finishing my pint, that's all.
Yeah,
is there anyone, like we had the 2 people who were just telling fake stories. Is there anyone who seems like they might actually have real stories?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me. This is just kind of like looking around the bar.
Yeah, just 7.
They seem to be the most experienced adventurers that you can see. However, the stories that they're telling don't really match that.
Right.
Stock, what other place are you talking about?
The Emerald Scholar.
Oh, right.
We were directed there by said barkeep to learn about the crazy doctor.
Right. I'm trying to think. So this is night. I would think though the Emerald Scholar would probably be pretty close to a 24-hour establishment. Just because obviously, especially if people are paying to do research, I'm sure that they don't want to be ushered home in the middle of that.
Yay, college bars.
So yeah, you guys, if there's nothing else that you would like to do at the Winged Wyvern outside of finishing your drinks, you guys can head over to the Emerald Enclave.
I think there's some dust in my grape juice.
I do want to nab the paper airplane.
Oh yeah, I just figured you guys were taking that because that was the bounty listing has the kids' names on it.
Yeah. We're
I
piecing
mostly
it back
just wanted
together.
it because of the paper airplane. But
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so to the Enclave.
All right. So you guys head over to the Emerald Enclave. See if there's anything. Well, that shouldn't be there. Why is that up there?
On the walk over, I just kind of would like to ask Nev's question. It goes, hey Nev, what's the most esoteric thing you've ever had to make in your forge?
That's a good question. I don't know. Most of what I make is pretty commonplace, and
I mean, have you ever had to use like unusual materials?
no, definitely just the things that I could come across and purchase. Metal, leather.
Okay.
That's about it.
At this point, I take out my shield, if you could call it that. It looks more like a bunch of wooden boards just tied together with rope. And I just look at it. I kind of look at Nevis and I was like, yeah, I'm sure you can do more with less than what I've done here. If I collect a couple of materials that no one's going to miss, would you mind taking a crack at it?
I kind of eyeball the shield, look at the
Shield.
attempt at creation, and I feel a slight bit of pity, and I go, yes, of course, I will give my best shot at it.
Cool.
I just have this image of one of the boards just kind of dangling off of it by a piece of the rope and just swinging back and forth.
Oh, for sure. To give you an idea, it is labeled as a few, and its bonus note is can be used as a wrap.
Oh lordy.
All right. So you guys arrive at the Emerald Scholar. The interior is well lit by strings of seemingly magical lights running along the tops of the walls. Again, instead of the group of the clientele that you encountered at the Winged Wyvern, you find wizards, scholars, mages, and those who would seem out of place in normal taverns or inns. As you guys walk in, one of the people they wear robes that kind of match the colors. It's like black and green. Matches the paint on the sign outside and has the same crest on them. So you recognize this as an employee of the Emerald Enclave. And they ask, yes, what can we do for you at this late hour? Are you looking for a place to stay or perhaps some reading?
Yeah, give us all the books you have on Teardown.
Each person is permitted one book at a time. The cost is 1 silver piece per hour.
Do you have a book on just flying creatures?
We have many books, yes. If you would like a book on flying creatures, we can supply that.
Specifically pterodactyls.
Specifically to how they fly.
The physics.
We'll see what we have. We'll get you started with something at the very least.
I kind of give a raised eyebrow to both my companions here, and I look at the individual and I ask him. I said, I don't know if the information that I'm curious about is actually in a book, or if I just need someone with information on recent events. Which direction can you point me on that?
We have many tomes on recent events. Could you be more specific? We could set you up with something much more in line with what it is you seek, if you are willing to give me more specifics.
The key word would be Cassian.
Okay. I will confer with our sort of the master of the tomes to see if he knows of anything with that keyword. You wanted a book on pterodactyls, and you wanted a book on the mechanics of flying creatures.
Also, do you have any books on metal creatures?
Yes.
You do?
That is a good question.
Sure.
That, please.
You'd like that?
Yeah,
Which would you like first?
both.
One book at a time, sir.
What if I give you a little bit of extra? What if I give you a book in exchange?
I'm sorry, sir. With the nature of the clientele that we have here, we need to minimize the amount of books that may be set on fire at any given time.
It's one per person.
Which one?
One per person.
One per person.
I want to cast Mirror Image.
Oh my God! Where'd the rest of your brothers come from?
Okay. Make a deception check.
This is
With advantage, I helped.
and
No.
Banalore
Ooh, good
and
roll.
Danalore.
24.
It's so good to see you guys.
Hi, Banalore, Stanalore, and Danalore.
Yeah. Okay. Those two books it is then. Didn't see you all standing back there. Yeah. Yes. Pterodactyl book, sir. Yes.
Yeah, instead of a pterodactyl book, what about dragons that inhabited the Mirror of Dead Men?
Yes, we do have that. Yeah.
I'll take that instead, and then the pterodactyl.
Okay.
And
The large man with the incredibly long arms in the back. Is there anything that you wish?
I'm looking for a book on a mage that lives out in the middle of fucking nowhere that nobody knows shit about.
Could you be a bit more specific
I
of the
don't
region?
remember the city name.
Make an intelligence check.
What is my intelligence?
Actually, Xanalor, Vershad, and Nevis, you guys can all make intelligence checks as well to see if you recall, because you're all present for this.
I got a 9, but it may be in my notes.
I got a 3.
12.
11.
Okay.
Those
Rashad,
Elvis Salazar.
You remember something about Silvery Moon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was that wolf doctor man. Eddie Silvery Moon.
Out near Long Saddle, somewhere in that region. It's where we first heard the lore.
Stock, Vershad saying some nonsense about Eddie Silvery Moon reminds you that that the woman who told you about this person did say that he did say something about Silvery Moon.
And something about Silver Moon, Long Saddle, that general region.
Okay, I will. I'll see what we have. If you wouldn't mind, I'll take your silver, except for you, sir. And she points at you, Nevis, or he points at you, Nevis. We, I'll make sure we have the tome, something with which you seek before I take your money.
Well, who do we talk to about having snacks?
We will send a page along to see if there are any needs periodically throughout your time.
Can we start off with coffee?
Sure.
I've got a little bit of a headache from all this fruit.
Okay. All right. So one of the pages brings you with coffee to the table that you guys will be seated at. Go ahead and stock Xanalor and Vershad. Go ahead and deduct a silver piece from your inventory. After a couple minutes, 2 pieces for you, Xanalor. a page comes by with a stack of books, gives each of you a book. In Xanlar, you get 2. And then Nevis also a tome is it's a small book, larger than a leaflet, but not quite as large as some of the other texts. But is placed in front of you, and the page kind of stands expectedly next to you.
Okay. What is the title on the book in front of me?
The book is titled
Fantastic Beasts and How to Slay Them.
no, it's the book is titled the men who become beasts to hunt them.
Oh, that's a terrible. Cassius would
right.
100% make up that title.
It's not written by Dr. Cassius Hole, as far as you can tell.
Fuck.
I'm intrigued enough to toss him his silver piece then.
Okay. All right.
The men in tights who hunt them.
So let's see here. All right. So Stock, you have a book about it's a sort of a brief history of the Northern Wilds. And you're reading through. You're looking for mentions of Silvery Moon and things like that. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Okay. I don't get
That
any
was,
plus to that. I critically failed.
By the way.
Okay.
Brain
Sorry, was that
hurts.
Nevis?
That was good improv, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so you read through the book. You don't see any mention in the book of an enchanter, but you also get the distinct feeling that you didn't do a very good job of reading. It's been a long time since you've had to try to do it. You skimmed through it. You're like, wasn't in there. Do I need a different book, or do I need to try this one again? And I'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
Vershad, you have a book that is of the Mirror of Dead Men, and its denizens, and the book, as far as dragons in the Mirror of Dead Men go, you read about a dragon named Varagamanthar, which will probably ring a bell, even though it's been quite some time. Varagamanthar was heralded as the fastest dragon ever, so fast that he would be spotted in different parts of the Mirror of Dead Men simultaneously. And it was believed that his because of the frequency of sightings in the Mirror of Dead Men, that he did have a lair in the Mirror of Dead Men. All right. Xanalor, which book would you like to start with? Sorry, you have another question, Vershad?
Okay.
Well, does it say that Vragamanthar was ever dead?
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
10, 8 plus 2.
Okay. There is mention that after the events surrounding the interrupted rise of Tiamat, that he was not seen afterwards. Sorry I didn't mean to just move on without asking if you were done. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Xanalor, which book would you like to start with?
The metal creatures.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Come on, big money. Investigation. I suck at, so it's 5.
5. Okay. So you read through the book, and you're kind of keeping in mind the fact that you've got 2 books to go through in an hour, versus everyone else having the one. And all you really find are reports on like animated armor and golems that are made from various metals. Nothing about like autonomous or even like very anthropomorphic metal figures.
So do I think this book then is worthless, or am I just
Um,
reading too fast? Do I have a sense of that?
I think that you're probably thinking that it is more that you didn't do a very good job of reading it.
Okay.
But you're also just not sure if it seems strange that so far, like no historical, thinking or talking to people or writing has like yielded any results about this figure yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else on that book?
I assume these are all like leather bound books, so they're like, it's not like a removable cover.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check for the book about flight.
That is a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Why couldn't I roll that on the last one?
So a lot of the book talks about how many scholars, like for a long time, leading scholars believed that birds and other creatures with flight flew because of like certain elements of their wings were magical, like certain feathers on birds were magical, and there's a lot of historical period where people would like pluck different feathers from birds and see if they were magical, and various scales from other flying creatures. One scholar even attempted and was successful for a brief period of time of removing dragon scales and testing them for magic pertaining to flight before he was consumed. There is a theory in the book about how the shape of the wing is flexible and can be manipulated in order to seemingly make some sort of downward force to fight the natural falling of things. Granted, this is pre-revolutionary science, so like it's essentially labeled as a crackpot theory. It's very widely believed that there's some sort of magical property to certain feathers or scales in creatures.
So it's Don Vanchi that figured this out, right?
He was the one who was eaten, yes. Okay, Nevis, why don't you go ahead and make an investigation check for me for your book?
19.
19. All right. So, what you find out during your investigation is that there was a group of people who were seeking out Dr. Cassius Hole. They were seeking him out and wound up finding the ruins of his laboratory. And in the ruins, they found essentially enough information to derive the method to which he was able to augment his normal human powers. And they used this to essentially they themselves become that much closer to being able to be calling upon the powers of monsters in order to try to hunt some of these monsters down. The book talks about, because this book is about, it isn't written from the perspective of someone who does this. It's written sort of informatically, and you can tell while reading it, because of your information check, there is a bit of a bias here. And it talks about a bit about how these people are essentially reviled by society, because while they could do this stuff for the good of mankind, they do it for profit. And so there is a group of individuals who undergo this augmentation, and they refer to themselves as members of the Cassian Order, and that is the name that they use. So people people who've had dealings with them recognize them as Kashyans. And yeah, that's about all you get out of this text.
That is definitely all I need to know. I'm already regretting spending the silver piece on apparently jackass information. So these idiots want to run around at night chasing little animals, then by God, I won't. I don't need to worry about them.
So essentially, we got a biased book calling these people furries.
No, no, not necessarily. I mean, the book acknowledges that they have great power, and essentially acknowledges how they took a gift that one man took to become a savior of the realm, essentially, and instead decided to use it for personal gain. So it's more equating them to like just souped up bandits than actual heroes.
Okay.
Gift.
I don't know how many times that has ever been said in fantasy realm, but souped up bandits.
So we're going after badass bandits.
Who said you're going after them?
Yeah, curious. That's basically just closure. I don't need to worry about these guys anymore. So I'm happy with just being able to put an asterisk on that note and move on.
Just some weirdos we'll run into now and then.
Yeah. When I'm finished with my book, I would like to flag down the page and tear it down.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to grab a book about in the hour that you're going to watch Vershad do reading?
I have spent the entire time with my face planted on the book, just done.
Okay. Well, actually, I should ask, Vershad, you read a book. How much would you have devoted most of that hour to reading that book?
I would have looked in the glossary. I'm sorry, not the glossary, the index. I would have looked at dragons, subcategory mirror dead men, and that's all I would have focused on.
Okay. I think that actually learning the information and try to figure out how it links to, is Varagamanthar still around? Is it his lair that's being talked about? That kind of stuff. I think that probably would have taken you most of that hour along with the reading. So yeah, if you really do want to, yes, you can pay another silver.
Do want to.
Okay.
I really do want to.
Okay. All right. So deduct another silver and make another investigation check for me.
16, 14 plus 2.
Okay, so the book that you're brought is Scaly Lizards and Where to Find Them. And the book is written, the comment in it isn't great. It appears to be written by someone from some distant island named Chult. Or Cult, maybe. You're not sure if it's a hard or a soft J, or a soft H. But it does talk about different dinosaurs and things like that, and you are able to. What is the question you're trying to answer about pterodactyls?
How awesome are they?
So you read about them, and they are pretty awesome when they're not trying to eat you.
I would just like to. The main reason I'm doing this is I will just picking up facts about pterodactyls.
Are you attempting to wild shape into one?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make up lies about pterodactyls. Why would I be able to wild shape? That's just ridiculous, DM.
Look, I don't know. So you learn
there's a finite limit to my powers.
You learn a couple facts about pterodactyls. Their flight is believed to be the result of magic.
Naturally.
They're mostly scavengers.
Yeah.
They lay eggs as large as goblins.
In the early generations of humanity, did they ever live inside houses with the families, helping them take care of household chores?
You do see. You're able to make that fantastic assumption based on some of the other things you read in the book about other dinosaurs and how they're used for like triceratopses were used for, basically being giant mules and things like that. So
yeah, and then how like some of the smaller dinosaurs were like lawnmowers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, you read the Flintstones.
Yes, wonderful. I got what I needed.
Okay. All right.
Flintstone in canon.
So what we're gonna do, so Nevis says he's gonna head back to his forge for the evening. I'm going to I need to run to the bathroom really quick. When we come back, unless anybody has any other business they want to do, we're gonna go to the college and speak with Varen about developments surrounding.
No, we're hunting down lost children. We broke the DM. He wasn't ready. He underestimates our abilities. It's funny. I didn't learn shit, guys. Books are useless. Oi.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Did Scott put a blanket over his camera?
Looks like it.
Jesus. I woke the dog up.
Yay.
Where the heck did I draw that image for the symbol of the cult? I remember I redid it. Just don't remember where I drew it. All right. Nevis, are you back?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't Nevis.
That was me. I said yes, sir.
That was you? That sounded like Jay.
It sounds kind of like Jay.
Your Jay impression is getting super good.
Why, thank you. Oh, I lost it.
All right. So was there anything else that you guys wanted to do before heading to the college?
I mean, I'm gonna go back to the Emerald Place at some point, but not right now.
Okay. So now
early enough where we can do that.
What's that?
It's still early enough where we can do that, or do we have to? I just assumed it was late, and we would be just doing that the next morning.
I mean, well, yeah, you'll basically be doing it the next morning. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to see if there's anything that you guys wanted to do. Otherwise, kind of you guys going back to the college is essentially on your time. Varen's kind of working on his own things.
Didn't he say he would summon us?
That was going to be my next.
Your next question or thing that you wanted to do?
Distracted, sorry.
Okay, so now you guys know that researching at the Emerald Enclave is an option for things to do when you're here in Neverwinter.
Yeah.
That entire segment was brought to you by my imagination. I made it all up on the spot. Okay, so you guys head back to the Mages College in the morning. You guys take the ferry across. Once again, the ferry is full of people carrying supplies to the college, and also different mages from the college going to and from. You guys arrive at the college. You go inside. Again, it's there's sort of motes of light kind of floating around, pieces of paper being swished on, sort of non-existent winds through the halls that seem to be bearing notes and things like that on them. When you guys arrive, someone sort of steps up and asks, what they can do for you. You guys say that you're here to, speak with Varen, and they take you to the headmaster's chambers where he still is setting up shop. You guys come in to the headmaster's chambers, and Varen is he's in there. He's still buried in scrolls and books and other things. Looks incredibly tired. But nonetheless, when you guys come in, he is he's excited to see you guys. You guys have been well. He greets you. Says, yes, the only people that seems I can trust. Please have a seat. I actually need to speak to you about something. I know that you're here to ask me some questions, but I'd like to get this out of the way first, if you don't mind.
Wait. This is the guy that gave brew to, and that's how it's us by saying we're the only mistake.
Listen, I'm not sure how else to say this, so I'll just.
But you lost brew.
I'll come right out and say it. Your extortion attempts, whether they are that or not, I would really appreciate if those stopped. We're operating. We're operating on a mutual basis of trust, right? I trust you to perform the tasks that I have that I'm paying you to perform, and not tell anyone about them. And you've done splendidly. Please don't get me wrong. And in return, you come to me asking for more money for things pertaining to the mission that I've sent you on.
All right, blackmail it is. Got it.
We don't seem to be on a two-way street here.
Blackmail.
Do you have anyone else you can send to do these things?
Or that you can trust?
I do not, but I do believe that I'm paying you quite handsomely.
What are you guys doing when I'm not around?
Extortion can stop, blackmail can continue. Get to it, Xanalor.
No, you negotiate this ahead of time.
We're merely trying to see what was part of the mission and what was beyond the part of the mission that we happened upon in the process, and seeing if that information is valuable to you.
But now what you've done is information that you've previously given me, such as that on the monstrosities that you're encountering. Now you're trying to charge me for said information. It's not. You guys aren't being consistent, and I feel it's quite rude.
So we made a mistake offering you free information, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's what I heard. Nothing's going to be free from here on out.
I just
Give me my squid back.
my head in my hand.
Where is that student I gave the squid to and the dog head? I'm going to go find him.
Tell you what, we'll be more upfront about our charges on the front end from here on out.
I don't think this is how blackmail works.
We're not going to blackmail anybody.
We're just discussing business, Uvinder.
Look, we're not trying to change the conditions of jobs that you're offering us. We're accepting the jobs. We're accepting the money. We are simply trying to ascertain whether or not this other information is valuable enough for you to pay us more for it. We're not attempting to alter any deal, and I don't see why you're being taken aback by this.
I don't see why you're being a little bitch about this.
That was the polite way of saying that.
Because he's altered the deal and pray that he doesn't alter it any further.
I believe you have a severe case of rectal cranial insertion, my friend.
I understand you're upset because you're thinking this way. We're not against you. We're still on the same side. If you have a problem with people trying to get more money for the efforts that they've put forth, well, then I apologize for that, but that's the way it's going to be. So you either accept that we have not not done anything that you've ever asked us to, and we have never forced you to do anything any different.
We will make every effort to be reasonable.
Now,
We're so bad at negotiating.
You got a free squid and dog head out of it. You should be
You're
happy.
not helping.
Bring in the metal
now,
man.
Nevis, I respect your position. I do. What would you do with this information if I did not purchase it from you?
We're
Would you
not
be selling
attempting
it to
to
someone
do
else?
anything with the information. We're simply attempting to provide you with more for possibly more restitution.
We're not selling the information to some
Supplying,
outside
yeah. We'll give you information. Well, we're just wondering if we can get money for it. If you don't want to pay us for that information, big deal.
So,
If I could bridge the gap between our two groups right now, maybe if I ask one question, it will help us put the situation to bed.
is your question, are you the bad guys?
We got
No,
skulls on our hats. Are we the baddies?
no, it's how many individuals can you both trust, can gather the information, and trust to deliver you the information untainted?
With
Because I imagine
discretion.
I imagine that pool's not incredibly large.
Well, Vershad, granted you were not at the Emerald Enclave when you returned from the Crypt Garden Forest. The information that now, I'm sure you all would agree with me in that the information blueprints that you found.
Hold on. I asked a direct question. I expect a direct answer.
Your question is erroneous in its base.
lawyer.
This is yeah.
Don't politic
No,
me.
Your question predicates on an assumption that you did not at one point in time withhold information for money from me that was very, very important to this quest, that being the blueprints that were found in Xantor Shack. Now, I paid you for that information. However, that was incredibly relevant to the quest.
So okay, we get it. You have information that I don't. Now, there's a lot of information in this world neither of us have, and you're going to ask us to go get that information, and then we're going to go get that information. But from what I'm gathering here is we're kind of the monopoly on people you trust to go get information and bring it back to you alive.
And how do we know what information is relevant and has monetary value without asking for monetary
Stock, I
compensation?
got this one.
Fine.
I appreciate the question still stands though.
I agree with Stock. That's the entire sentiment right there.
Yeah.
How do we know what's worthy and what's not worthy unless someone's willing to pay money for it?
Would you agree to? Now there are typically 5 of you. I'm not sure where the little one is, but would you agree to a 5 gold each, a 25 gold retainer of sorts that is basically doled out for every quest I send you on for relevant or for information gathered from said quest? Can we agree on that?
I think we should agree per quest because depending on how dangerous the particular quest may be.
All right, but now can we agree that these sorts of things need to be settled in advance?
Yes, and that's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Okay, I can agree. Listen, this is disgusting business. This is not typically the things I'm involved in. I appreciate your position. I hope you appreciate mine. We will be upfront about these things from now on. And if there is no agreed upon, or if what you bring back you feel exceeds our agreed upon value, that there will be no more attempts to gut me for more gold.
I think we need to go visit Waterdeep and find that lawyer fellow that we see those flyers for that may be of help.
You mean that ambulance chaser?
Yep.
I for one, will agree to your stipend deal.
Thank you. Now, I understand that you have some questions for me. First, let me give you a bit of information that we've been able to glean so far from Brew, given its presence here and our ability to actually study it.
I totally thought you lost it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not trusting you enough.
It is sealed away, far from scrying eyes, as I said the other day. Sorry, Vershad, you weren't present for that, but yes, the brew, the artifact is sealed away. There is a very select few number of people who are able to gain access to it, none of which are employed here at the Mages College. It is myself and members of the Conclave of Prestidigitation.
He just lied.
Yeah, insight check.
Okay, roll an insight check.
It's bad. 4.
You feel like you've
12.
been getting a pretty good job. All right, hang on, Stock. I'll send you a whisper. Xanalor, you feel like you've done a pretty good job of like getting to know and like read Varen. You're not sure if it's the bags under his eyes or what, but you're having a hard time telling if he's like not being forthright. But so far, you've known him to be honest with you, but only
As honest as he needs.
withhold extra facts, but never like things that are like never lied to you.
Sure.
As Xanalor is taking care of that, I would like to check on this man also, because I have down in my notes something on the Conclave of Prestidigitation, and I'm doubting right now.
You want to make an insight check, or you want to ask him a question?
I want to make an insight check into whether or not he's, just as he was explaining to Xanalor, I'm hearing his words, and I want to see if I can tell if this is a partial truth or an untruth.
Okay, go ahead and roll an insight check. Stock, I'm sending you a whisper currently.
Okay.
All right, that's not going to help. My modifier is a 7, but I only rolled a 9 then.
I really like
Okay,
that name.
basically you get the same feeling that Xanalor gets, where you feel like you've got a pretty good read on Varen at this point. You've spent enough time talking to him. You kind of paid attention to his sort of tells in a way when he was not telling you the entire story before you guys left for Dazut, but you're not sure if it's the bags under his eyes or what, but you're not getting as good of a read, and he doesn't seem to be withholding information.
Okay.
I really like that name, though. The Conclave of Prestidigitation.
So Varen, he kind of continues. He says, so from what we've been able to gather, I think that I can use Brew to help potentially eliminate these tears from happening, at least in areas surrounding Neverwinter, like in Neverwinter itself. I'm not sure how yet to tap into that, but I think that there could be some sort of link here. And at this point, I feel like these tears happening, right over the, from what you've told me, the rift occurring over the statue of Tiamat, with the statue of Tiamat having become a golem inside, the blueprints that you recovered from Xantor's shack, where there were plans for how to turn people into golems. It seems to me that the theft of the amulet, the rift, the golems, and these strange, we'll call them temporal anomalies, I believe that somehow these things are linked in the cult's plans. And I'm not sure how, but the former headmaster figures into these as well, whether it's his absence or if they needed him for something. But I think that I can use Brew to help protect the realm. I just need more time to figure out how.
So, what do you need from us then?
At this point, I don't believe that there's anything further that I need from you right now. If I've spoken with Stuart Mayer, and he has agreed that your stay at the Breeze home will be extended indefinitely until my business, not the college's business. I'm not speaking on the college's behalf in this front. Until my business with you has concluded, I would like you to stay there. You don't need to. You're not on house arrest. You don't need to stay there. You can do your own things, but for a central location for which I can find you at some point.
Is the Breeze home protected from scrying eyes?
Not currently. There are artifacts that can be used to prevent scrying. However, we do not currently have any. There are sort of arcane locks, so to speak, in place around Brew, keeping it from being scryed on. To do that on the entirety of a building would be quite difficult.
Is there something more specific to us that we could use, even if you don't have it?
There are. He tells. There is an amulet against. I think it's. What is it again? You guys had one in the first campaign, or in the Rise of Tiamat campaign.
It's a tinfoil hat.
Yes.
No, it's called
Which
Proof
actually
Against Detection.
amplifies. Let's see here.
Let me look this up really quick.
Amulet of Proof Against Detection and Location.
Yes. Should you come across any of these amulets, they hide you from divination magic. I couldn't tell you where to find them, but it's hard to say at this point whether the cult was scrying on you or on Brew itself. Have you noticed anything since dropping off Brew?
I don't think so.
I saw this thing that said there's a house on fire.
Oh yes, the arson of Arroway Manor. I'm not sure that they ever did find the person responsible, but or even if there was, I think the Lord's Alliance and the City Guard determined that without being able to capture a culprit, that the fire was likely accidental in nature.
Was anyone hurt?
It's not believed so. No, I don't recall. It was quite some time ago. Sorry, I've been quite busy working on this. I was preparing for Brew to arrive. I was banking on your success.
Do we notice if Xanalor is like shuffling his feet or giving
great. Make an
furtive
insight.
eye glances? Yeah.
Can I make a deception check?
You will, but that will be what the insight check is against. Yeah.
I have a passive 14.
Okay.
Oh, this die has gone south on me. That's only a 10.
Okay. What's your deception check, Xanalor?
14 plus 7.
Oh, damn.
Okay. No, he's solid as a rock. His hand does not shake. I like how we made the same joke at the same time, Jay.
To the scrying thing, would a passive perception of 14 have noticed if we had been scryed on or not?
You have not gotten the sense of being watched since you unloaded Brew.
Okay.
You're not sure though if it's just that and Varen kind of so Varen's I'm not sure if it's that the cult got the information that they were looking for, if it was even the cult who was looking for it, or if it was you or Brew that they were spying on. I think at this time there's too many question marks, not enough answers. Hopefully though, with the sheltering of Brew, we've at the very least taken away one variable. Now, I do believe you had some questions for me, yes?
We are hunting an artificer.
An artificer. Do you have any more information?
Silver Moon, up near Long Saddle. All I have is farmer myth and legend.
You know, That does ring a bell. Actually, and he snaps and kind of waves in, and you hear the door sort of demurely open up, and a page quietly steps inside. He says, Varen asks him to grab a book and bring it to him. He says, I think I recall something pertaining to what you're asking about. I don't know the details, and I don't want to give you wrong information. While he gets that book, was there anything else that you wanted to ask me about?
What do you know about metal men?
Automaton.
Well, are you speaking of like animated armors or golems? What do you...
Like a person made of metal. It was more complicated than just a suit of armor that was animated.
Do you have it?
Yeah, we tried giving it to you. You didn't want it.
Somewhere. You were in a hurry.
I'm very interested in this. This seems to be, from what you describe at least, outside sort of the golem experiments that the cult was making. I would like to, if you don't mind, we could together look over it and see if there was anything we could figure out from it, if it's related to the cult or anything else.
Yes,
would you'd be amenable to this? All right.
That'd be
Money.
Just bring it by anytime, and we'll get right down to it.
just speaking terms ahead of time. I just want to make sure I am always with it.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not with it now, though, are you?
No, but I mean, I'm not leaving it with you. I'm not leaving it with you to do something that I am not.
Don't worry, Xenalor's 3 brothers are.
I'll go call Danilor.
Rustling a Jimmy.
I met him for the first time at the Emerald Enclave Library. It would they were so cool.
Much
nicer than me.
Good to know. Hopefully they won't extort me for money as well. A joke, yeah. During this time, the page comes in with the book. Says,
I put out a silver piece.
The page is like takes it and he looks at Varen. Varen like shakes his head no, and he hands it back to you and leaves the room.
That was awfully rude.
This is a much better library, guys.
Are we able to use the books here also?
The books here are reserved for members of the Mages College.
All right, I'm becoming a wizard.
If that's something you'd be interested in, it's something we can talk about at a later time. Some books, such as there are some books that are reserved for higher up mages in the college that you still would not have access to. However, it is something that is it's an option should you seek it. But excuse me, give me a few moments here. He starts kind of flipping through the book. And let me pull something up here so I can make sure I am not giving you incorrect information. Because what's worse than Varen giving you incorrect information is me, the DM, giving you incorrect information. Okay. So he starts like kind of like, he says, Legendary Enchanter, Northern Wilds. A town west of Silvermoon. Starts flipping a few more pages. Yeah, okay, yes. There is a legend of a artificer. I did not have the pleasure of meeting him. His current whereabouts are largely unknown. He has been inactive for quite some time. He was referred to as Old Man Tinkertop. And he was believed to operate in a remote part of the Glimmerwood near a town. And if he like kind of rolls out a map, and I'm going to bring you guys over to the Sword Coast map. The town was known as, seems to be Glimmermore. potentially because of its location adjacent to the Glimmerwood and the Evermoors. Somewhere in the woods in that region, he was believed to operate. As I said, the information on him is rather sparse. He went inactive some time ago. Being someone who is as skilled as he was, I find it hard to believe that he would have expired, but certainly within the realm of possibility. Is there anything else?
Someone as skilled as him, you wouldn't think has died.
Yeah, people. There are certainly things that you can do with certain skills in the arcane to extend one's mortal life. Also, I'm not sure. It doesn't say what race he was, but there are obviously some fairly everlasting races, differently than humans such as myself and others.
Any notes on his personality?
Not really. No. He kind of like flips through a little bit. Yeah, I would assume he's a bit of a recluse, based on the fact that he operated in such a remote region and has disappeared. Vashad, yes.
Look, you can tell us if he's a lich.
I have no reason to suspect he would be.
Come on.
Do you think he's a lich?
Well, you told me he was a guy who knew a lot of stuff, was able to create magical artifacts, and then disappeared, never to be heard from again. Come on. We've heard this tale before.
I agree that with some tenuously logical jumps, you could arrive at that conclusion.
Yeah, but we're not dealing with logical stuff. We're adventurers. Why would we want to do this? Because logical life sucks ass.
I feel like I had this conversation this week. How long ago did he go dark?
He kind of like looks.
As in, like, we haven't heard from him, not like became a lich.
Either way.
He's like kind of flipping through the book to see like if there's any like reference dates or anything. It says I can't say for certain. This text was written roughly 100 years ago.
The angsty teenage years of lichdom.
I think this is interesting to follow up because either he's dead and we have an artificer's storeroom to raid, or he's not dead and we have an artificer to
raid.
Yeah, raid.
We're going on a raid, boys.
All right, guys, let's go to the end game.
Secretly, you've been in Chult Part 2 the entire time.
He brings in a whole bunch of pterodactyls.
And a zombie T-Rex bursts through the wall.
Was there any further questions regarding Old Man Tinkertop or anything else?
I kind of thought about this a little bit, and this isn't something that I expect us to do today. But is there any way that we can make some items that's kind of like a quick express delivery road to you? Because we had a lot of looky-loos on our way back from Dessert last time. And it ended up adding a lot of strain to our return since we had... if there's a way that we could use your resources to expedite that transfer, maybe a bag that you and like us and you would be able to reach into simultaneously. Is it anything like that? Something that you could commission?
That's an interesting question. That's something we'll have to look into. He makes a note of it on a piece of parchment that you see has a few like notes and bullet points on it. So I will look into that. That is definitely something that would be I'm assuming you're saying you had some trouble on the road, and it would have been
Mhm.
convenient to place brew in some sort of pocket dimension that your group and I had access to. That I could have taken brew then, and you would have potentially had less heat on you.
Oh, specifically that. Yes.
Cloud storage.
Clown storage. That's
I
right.
think what would happen is it's this magical, and we drop it in there, and then you at a different location can pick. I think we can call it Google Drive.
I will look into it. As far as information over the last few days about the creatures that you gave us, early sort of researchers would point to a similar conclusion as the others, that these creatures are not of this plane. I have a few pages working on their research as we've had over the course of this process. They are consulting texts and various tomes from Mordenkainen and Volo to see if there's any precedent for these sorts of creatures. And again, we appear to be coming up rather lacking. So apart from the physical beings themselves, was there any information that you had that you could that you would want to include? Since again, it appears as though the 6 of us are apparently co-authoring a text.
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Do you have any books on pterodactyls?
What about pterodactyls specifically are you looking to learn?
Nothing in particular. I just really like pterodactyls.
Have you been to the Emerald Enclave yet?
Yes, they gave me a side eye.
I can understand why. I don't have any free access texts that would be about pterodactyls.
Everything cools behind a paywall. As I put out a silver piece.
No, it's not like that. Again, like I stated earlier, the texts here at the college are specifically for college members only.
Man, a really expensive paywall.
There are, of course, monthly college dues and whatnot. Yeah.
I slumped my head.
40,000 gold a semester, you know.
Tuition, lab fees, technology fees, arcane fees, library fees.
Learn about fucking
Book
pterodactyls.
fees.
Oh, don't even get me started on the book fees. That's a separate package. No, that was all a goof.
Yeah, but the goof was it wasn't a goof.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you guys wanted to ask about or know about, anything like that?
No, I think we're pretty well set. We have at least 3 things we can go do right now while we wait on them to gather more information.
Mm-hmm.
Give Xanalor, we'll pursue our research, of course. But before you leave town, if you're going to, give it a couple days again, and stop by Hartman's Bazaar, and then maybe I might be able to do something for you, at least to expedite travel a bit.
Sounds good.
What bazaar?
Hartman's Bazaar.
Hartman's Bazaar. It's where you bought Charlie.
Place we went before.
Mm-hmm. That was Jay asking a question.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that's Hartman's Bazaar, run by Albrecht Hartman. You were about to say something, though, Xanalor. What were you?
Oh no, I don't remember.
So if we're giving it a few days, you can do the research.
Oh, how much do I trust this guy? I guess can I determine that?
How much do you trust Varen?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's. I don't know how I can answer that question.
Yeah, I guess that's
I-
true.
I feel like
Again, I guess
from an
based on what you
outsider
shared.
looking at the relationship between you two, he trusts you guys,
Yeah.
and he has been honest with you the entire time. He's never lied to you. He just during one time omitted details, but was then scolded for that by Nevis.
Right. Okay. But I'm gonna be coming back here for the research, so I'll just do that then. Okay.
Nevis, was there anything that you wanted to know or anything?
I don't recall any information I needed at this time.
Okay.
All right. Well, give it a few days and let Xanilor do his research. I got nothing for a few more days. I want to go do one of these side missions. Either see Tinkertop, go after kids, or possible 13% of dragon treasure.
Well, looking at the map here, I don't think you can get to Silver or the Glimmerwood in a couple of days.
That's a day and a half. I can read maps really well.
Yeah,
Well,
the Mirror Dead Men would probably be
It's
on
like
the edge of possible.
Yeah. Well, we did
6
about
miles away.
a day and a half from there to Neverwinter with risking the exhaustion.
I mean, we would have to get exhausted, I think, to the Mirror Dead Men.
So you guys remember that getting to the Crypt Garden Forest was a 4-day journey. So getting to the Mirror of Dead Men probably fairly similar with the probable slowed speed getting through the mirror.
And then we also have to investigate the mirror and try and find this lair. So we're looking at probably at least 2 weeks, there and back.
I would like to. I definitely want to. I'll go to the city guard.
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, the commerce, the Chamber of Commerce,
Mhm.
with the folded up pseudo origami poster unfurled. And I was like, yes, hello. I represent a small organization.
The
These
Lollipop Guild?
the lost individuals. I mean, yes, we do enjoy lollipops, but that is not the name.
Like you said, small organization. So
Yeah. That would be a diminutive organization.
tomato, tomato.
Of course. Of course, Hedwig.
So the representative of the Chamber of Commerce, what is you want? What are you asking?
That we found the sign and we're more about the job.
Okay. So the person who works at the Chamber of Commerce doesn't have a lot of information for you. The Chamber of Commerce really just approves postings to be posted, essentially. But the person knows that the names of the 5 children who are on the posting, they all live in the same neighborhood.
And that would be?
It is kind of like in the border, I guess, between the Blue Lake District and the Tower District. You would know from your time here that it is a like lower middle class kind of sect of the town.
Okay. And who originally submitted the posting?
I don't have that written down, but I would say probably the It's a activist group, sort of in Neverwinter, called the Citizens Watch. They are expressing concerns that the city guard has not been able to locate the children yet.
And do you know where I could go to meet with a representative of Citizens Watch?
They also that's a great question, actually. I'm not sure. This is what I get for not. Oh, okay. There we go. They have a small office in the Hall of Justice in the Protector's Enclave.
To the Hall of Justice League.
So I was. You guys are really interested in this, and I really apologize. I didn't know that it was going to catch on like this. I do not have like any really more prepared than what I've told you outside of like I don't have any details nailed down for this thing yet. I just have like a vague overview of this quest.
All right, DM. We're heroes. There's missing kids. That's like classic. Hey,
Well, I didn't know
You
guys
served
wanted
it
to go
up on
right
a
away.
golden
take
platter.
the fucking bait, dipshit.
Bounty board, hero adventurers, missing kids. That is like crack, man. That is adventurer crack right there.
I underestimated you guys.
Y'all need any of them heroes?
All right, so in the 35 minutes we have left, what did you anticipate us doing?
Yes.
Well,
Fishing minigame.
I expected shenanigans, which we did.
Check.
And I mean, essentially, just to know like what you guys want to do next. I mean, there's essentially, based on your conversation with Varen, no timetable for when you're next going to be called upon by the college.
Right.
So, I mean, you guys could reasonably go to Glimmermoor. If you really, really want to do these side quests, like the missing children or the Dragon's Horde, I can try to make sure that I have at least one of those ready for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you guys want to, you can essentially hang around until the college calls on you next.
Well, since
Missing kids.
There would be time to continue our little character development scenarios, so we can attempt to go in that direction.
Hey, on the map where it says dolphin, is that the location of a sea?
It's a dolphin bridge.
Yeah, it's a dolphin bridge.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah, there's just a dolphin that just always is right there.
Yeah. No, that's
in the river.
Yeah.
It's
a small dolphin.
It is a dolphin. It's a bridge made out of dolphin.
Oh, that's even more depressing.
No, like it's just a dolphin that people walk across. It's fine.
Can I investigate if it's made of real dolphin?
Sure.
Was his name Mr. Lippet?
I've always wondered.
No, his name was Echo.
Did my fishing pole get made yet?
Yes.
Oh, I want to buy things.
Oh, okay, sure.
I want caltrops, silk rope, and carpenter's tools.
Okay. All right. So
I think that's
19 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of which, Zanny.
Don't call me Zanny.
All right, lore. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you have anything that can start a fire?
You do have a tinderbox.
I know. I mean, like obviously I know this, but I'm just gonna dig around in my bag and stuff and see, and then after an appropriate amount of time, I do have a tinderbox.
Can you light something on fire?
I don't understand.
No, so you're gonna light this on fire and then you're
Like a
gonna
torch?
throw it at me. Yeah, like a torch, and then throw the torch at me.
What are we trying to accomplish?
No, we'll find out. You'll find out.
Whether you can be set on fire?
No, just element of surprise, man. Come on, just throw it at me
Just light a torch on fire.
and throw it at me. I don't understand why you're so like this is gonna work out great. And as my reaction, I would elements as I reach out and grab the flame end of the torch.
Okay. So what does that do?
So spell captures some of the incoming energy, less storing it for the next melee attack. I have resisted for that type until the start of my next turn. And then my next melee attack will add an extra 1d6 damage of the type.
Okay.
So since I'm grabbing fire, I'm going to make fire the damage type I have resistance to.
Okay.
And do I get to like remove the torch and then hold the fire in my hand?
Yeah.
Is this not the most baller shit ever? And want to touch it?
Do I want to touch the fire?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
No.
Come on, you kind of want to.
Why?
I mean, I don't have a really good reason other than it is fire that doesn't hurt.
I guess.
I would like to use my action in order to transfer that fireball into his hands, allowing him, if he made a melee.
You kind of cut out the end there. If he made a melee attack, what?
He gets to add 1d6 fire damage to it.
Is my hand on fire?
Yes and no.
Yeah, but it feels real nice.
Not here. Punch my hand. That one hurt. That one hurt. Not cool.
That could be useful.
Yeah. 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 I just wanted to know exactly how far. Apparently, the answer is once. I cannot take it back.
So,
Oh man.
one of these
Fancy.
mornings while we're waiting around for the college, I want to grab Uvender while he's still asleep one morning in his bed, wake him up and say, "You need to come with me right now."
Oh, hey, Stock.
You need to come with me right now,
Can I put pants on first?
if you must.
I feel like I do.
So this is one of the mornings that Nevis and I are actually spending doing combat training, and I've noticed that Uvender doesn't ever kill anything, and that is a problem. Uvender needs to kill things. So I'm going to bring him out, outside the city into the woods where Nevis and I have been doing training, and I'm going to say, you really need to learn how to actually kill things or you will die, because some things will not go down easy. So you're going to work with us now.
I have a number of moral and philosophical quandaries that need to be solved before I'm even willing.
We can fix those.
Why are you holding that glaive up so high?
And swing.
Okay.
but with the blunt end.
Okay, make an attack.
The group murders the guy who will kill things.
And as funny as this is, I got a critical fail.
Yeah, as I see that he's trying to thrust with it, I just give a nice little C shape. I don't understand what is going on here. We have been great partners so far. Why do you feel the need to attack me? I've done nothing to you other than omit a few things on occasion. Look, I don't need to give you reasons. I don't need to give you reasons.
And this becomes Nevis. This is our training for the day. Catch the druid.
I would like to wild shape into a chicken.
Yeah, okay.
We're playing a literal game of chicken today.
Yeah, okay.
I approve this. Stock and Nevis make dexterity checks.
God, I am rolling like complete shit.
Mine is terrible. 5.
I did one better with a 6.
Neither of you are able to capture the chicken.
All right, switching over to the crossbow.
Make a dexterity, or make it a it's a dexterity based attack. Yeah, make an attack with your crossbow.
That is, damn this chicken.
This turkey challenge chicken.
Yep. 17 to hit with a crossbow.
That'll hit a chicken. Yeah.
All right, just subtract 1 from the damage because that's.
Well, I rolled the maximum, or wait, wrong dice. That's a 10. I need an 8. That is 8 piercing damage to a chicken.
All right, so I take 7 regular as damage. And it's just you just see me with a bolt right in my neck. It's like, fuck! Why did you do that?
Because a chicken won't always save you from death.
You can't prove that.
I think I just did.
I don't understand what's going on.
We're gonna train you to be more deft with weapons.
I cast Hold Chicken at the 2nd level.
Okay, chicken, roll a wisdom saving throw.
All right. That is a 9 plus 7 for 16.
Nevis, does that beat your spell save DC?
He actually beat it by 1, the motherfucker.
So Nevis, you try your best to cast
This is
Hold
one
Chicken.
magic fucking chicken. Let me tell
You
you.
try
it
your
would've-
damnedest to cast Hold Chicken, and you see Vershad Chicken run past you. You're like, "This is my chance," and you cast it, and Vershad Chicken stops for a minute, looks at you, and then runs off.
Well, no, I'm based off of the bolt. I'm back in human.
Doesn't mean you had
That's
to stop
it.
making chicken noises.
I'm calling the colonel. He's going to catch you.
Just this whole time, I have this image that Xanilor got woken up by Vershad screaming and just followed us out into the woods at the ass crack of dawn and is just sitting behind a tree watching us chase a chicken around.
I don't want to do this.
You must be better.
No, there's. I got my powers from not being.
So, with the training montage having completed, Vershad avoiding any grievous bodily harm for the day, and Stock and Nevis failing to barehanded grab a chicken. You guys on the the second day after your visit to the college, you go to Hartman's Bazaar, and Albrecht Hartman greets you, and he says, Are you by any chance here with the college?
Do I still have the bolt in my neck?
No, it's the next day, unless you left it in there.
No, I'm taking a long rest then.
Rotisserie chicken.
He says the college has reserved a horse and a wagon for you.
And Charlie, how's he doing?
Charlie is he is doing well, and he is happy to be resting. It seems.
Good.
But yeah, so you guys actually have a draft horse and a wagon for transportation. The single draft horse is enough to carry the wagon and you guys and Charlie.
And the Warforged.
And the Warforged.
But that's it.
So you guys have this ability now to kind of carry more stuff. You can keep like actual tents and things like that on the wagon and whatnot, should you choose to.
Neat.
All right. Xanalor, why don't we do your Metal Man research with Varen?
Okay.
So you bring the Warforged to the college, the Metal Man, and you bring him in. Someone leads you to Varen. Varen takes you to kind of like a large chamber that has like various tools and things like that, and a large pedestal in the center that you can like put things on. He tells you that this is a chamber for various experiments and things like that, and dissections. And at one point in time, there was a lot of research done here on flying creatures and whatnot. So go ahead and make an investigation check and a medicine check, and then just tell me the result for those separately.
All right. Investigation 19.
Okay.
Medicine, I think, is also a +0. Yeah, 9.
9. Okay. So from your medicine check, as you and Varen kind of look over this Metal Man over the course of the the day or two that you guys are working on this together, you guys find that even though you are able to like get to like an interior, it doesn't appear to have like organs, so to speak. It's definitely more complex than a golem, because a golem is basically just a hunk of metal given life. This has like some sort of, the power source escapes you, but it has some sort of machination to make this thing move. Whatever power source it had must have been something of great power to use these gears and stuff like that to move something so large. Your investigation check. So you and Varen kind of look over this thing. As far as you can tell, the material that it's made from is similar to alloys found here, found in the world, but also slightly different. Different enough that it's not the same. It's similar, but it's not the same as any like known alloy between the two of you. You see Varen make a series of sort of arcana checks. You see him kind of like trying to tap into like any magical effects that exist in this thing. And he goes, well, that's curious. And he does it again. And he says, it seems as though this man has the same sort of latent magical effect that exists in areas where these rifts occur, as though he's tied to them somehow. I wonder, with him being... you found this in the temple surrounding Rue, correct?
Right. They seemed, at least one of them was active and seemed to be protecting it.
Well, I feel fairly confident in asserting that the this doesn't come from here. It's not of this world. It may have, during some sort of previous event, come through one of those rifts similar to those creatures that you fought.
And you've never come across a description or anything like this?
This is certainly more advanced than anything that I've seen created, by even the most talented of Goblin artisans here in the college. But this alloy and the sort of lingering effect of those rifts has me. I've never seen anything like this before. No. You said it was operational when you saw it?
There was at least one fighting against the cultists.
That's very interesting. It would have been very obviously beneficial to have obtained one that was operational. We could have made an effort to see at least what its power source is.
So I was hoping we might be able to determine that.
Based on the sort of residue left, whatever it was a very powerful sort of arcane battery.
So it's magic.
It was, at least.
If we determine what that power source is, do you think we could make it work?
Potentially, yes.
How would you suggest we go about determining anything further?
Well, do you know of any sort of spells that have some sort of energy attributed to them?
Something not destructive.
Yeah, not even that. I mean, honestly, if the space was conducive to it, I'd try casting a fireball on it, see what happened.
I can. I want to use Eldritch Blast.
All right. So you cast Eldritch Blast. You're a far enough distance away from it where the sort of like eruption of the energy isn't going to damage you, but close enough where you know that all of the energy is going into the Metal Man. You see Varen, he's kind of got like some like shaded like piece of like glass over his eyes, so you can like watch it from up close. So you cast Eldritch Blast, and you hear like kind of like dust and debris kind of fly, like onto the ground and stuff. And you look, and the Metal Man is not active still, but also isn't damaged.
That's strange.
It's quite strange. Is that Now I understand you want to keep this with you, correct?
Ideally, I want to make sure it's not going to fall into hands that are not mine.
Okay. I can make attempts to, obviously we're stretched fairly thin with all the research that we're doing. Can make attempts to try to find information and research regarding different arcane batteries and sort of how they're formed and powered, and see if those applications have any effect here on the Metal Man.
Sounds like a plan.
So anytime you have an idea or you're free, if you'd like to bring him down, we can talk about it in advance to see if there's any advances in that research, so we can make sure that you're not just carting him all the way over here for nothing. But yeah, that's about all I have for it for ideas today, at least.
All right then.
All right. So, as far as like progression goes, as a party, what is your guys' next course of action? Like, are you investigating the kids, or are you looking for the dragon's horde, or are you going to Glimmermore, or are you waiting for the college?
Me personally, it's gonna be kids, Tinkertop, Dragon, or college, whichever comes up first.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that we would keep ourselves occupied with things like the kids would probably be the most urgent sounding.
Okay.
And then
We only have 48 hours.
Like whatever we're doing until the college tells us to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so as far as the side mission for the missing children goes, I actually titled this side quest Milk Carton. I just actually went to my side quest like appendices that I'd like kind of written up and I never finished. It's called Milk Carton. So I want to make sure that I have like good stuff for you guys to do this, right? Like this is obviously going to be an investigation that you guys are launching into, and I want to make sure that there's like, stuff to find.
Ideally, we find missing kids.
Right. Yeah.
Not dead missing kids.
Alive missing kids.
Right. Yeah. I just want to make I just want to make sure that everybody's in agreement that that's what we want to do next is the missing kids.
DM dangles D&D crack in front of us and doesn't expect us to bite.
At the very lowest on my priority, number 2 on the list.
Okay.
At where it's at right now is number 1.
Yeah.
How about you, Nevis?
I would do whatever is going to be easiest for you to plan us to do.
I mean,
if you've already got college stuff ready to go, then I think we should do that and give you time to develop the side missions to your level of approval.
Sure. I mean,
but also I would also do the kids, and then just in order, I guess, the kids, the lair, and the mage, and whenever the college was ready, we throw it in whenever.
Okay. All right. So I mean, I obviously have all the college stuff ready. I do have Old Man Tinkertop ready. I do have a pretty good outline done for the kids. I just need to fill in the details, which is obviously the stuff that's important to you guys. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't take me a ton of time. Like I said, I have a pretty good outline already. And I just need, again, I need to fill in a few details. I've got a lot more stuff going on already for the Dragon Horde. But I need to fill in some details there too, like who is hiring people for this shit and that kind of stuff.
Knowing how well our party is at investigating things at times, does the Breeze Home have a book called Investigation?
Investigation for Dummies.
I will make sure that even failed investigations at least give you some glimmer of a nugget.
Don't worry, big bro. We're going to beat that.
If you haven't seen the Discord yet, there is an image of a victorious druid chicken for you.
I did see that. So yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, the reason why I probably underestimated so much how much you guys would want to do the missing children thing, it's not the first side quest I've teased, but it's definitely the first one you've latched onto.
Is it the first one with children in harm's way?
Yes, but I did not know that was that important to you
For
guys.
unknown reasons in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
It sounds like it meets all the wickets for we must do this now. This is super important but completely irrelevant.
I would just like to say we're owl exterminators.
Could we hire somebody to go save the kids while we just do whatever?
Who you want to hire? You want to track down one of those Cashians?
Okay, Melania Trump.
What?
We're starting to sub out the contracts.
On that note,